I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
What do I owe the pleasure? What do I owe the pleasure? Last time we speaking together, we wash your car for you. We wash your car with no shame in our hustle. And when you got them getting into that wash, and you know that tip gonna be good like y'all better stop buying this slippery soap, man. What's going on there?
The streets have been talking, but nobody expected this. 50 Cent just dropped some tapes that have Rick Ross looking like he's about to lose his mind. And baby, this ain't your regular hip-hop beef anymore. We've got the full story on how these leaked tapes about Ross and Diddy hit the internet. Trust, when you hear what's on them, you're going to understand why Ross is ready to burn the whole industry down. The way 50 played this chess move, legendary mess.
Bruh, just like New York, just like Mount Vernon, New York City, Mount Vernon, and Miami, all that is the same, bruh. Nobody wants to be near him. Nobody wants to touch what he touched, be where he at. You understand? It's crazy, bruh, how his fall from grace, which was never from grace. It's just like the devil just kicked him out of hell, because he was never in nothing graceful and did anything graceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say about, okay, he did the music, he had the bad boy legacy and everything like that, man. But, you know, a few albums, a few people, you know, made to be famous, but they not here to tell their story. Black Rob, Biggie, Craig Mack. They not here to tell their story, bro. And now you got everybody telling his story.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with US Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, you know, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bruh, those people who was caught at Diddy's party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house.
Girl, let me tell you, 50 Cent has been playing the longest game in hip-hop history with this one. Back in 2009, when Ross first came at 50 with that Officer Ricky mess, everybody thought it was just another rap beef. But 50? He was thinking way bigger than that. See, while Ross was out there thinking he won their little back and forth, 50 was quietly moving like a snake in the grass, collecting receipts and building connections. Every time Ross would post something flexing about his Wingstop money or his car collection, 50 would just watch and wait. He wasn't responding to the little jabs anymore. He was gathering ammunition. The way 50 planned this takedown, pure evil genius. He waited until Ross was all over social media promoting his new Checker franchise and posting about his latest business moves. Ross was feeling himself, thinking he was untouchable in the industry. That's when 50 knew it was time to strike. If you were paying attention to 50's Instagram the week before, you could see him setting it all up. First, he started posting these cryptic messages about how some people ain't poor, they pretend to be. Then, he threw up that post saying, "Tick, tick, tick, time's running out for some folks." Nobody knew what he was talking about, but the streets were watching. Then boom, on a regular Tuesday afternoon, when everybody was just minding their business, 50 hits the gram with that first tape. No warning, no build-up, just straight destruction. The way he did it was cold, too. He didn't even put a caption. Just let the footage speak for itself. Within minutes, the whole industry was blowing up.
But he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. Nah, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them. He's not going to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I know that got to be a terrible feeling, man. You know you did something wrong at Diddy party, and you hoping and praying that it's not caught on tape.
But they don't think they did nothing wrong. That's their lifestyle. That's their lifestyle, bruh. I ask guys all the time, if two men lay down, how many homos get up? What you mean? I mean what I mean. It's what it is.
The reactions started pouring in immediately. Industry executives were calling emergency meetings, PR teams were scrambling to get ahead of the story, and everybody who ever worked with Ross or Diddy suddenly went ghost. This wasn't like when rappers drop diss tracks or expose old DMs. This was different. The level of calculation that went into this 50 had literally been watching and waiting for years to catch Ross at his highest point, just to bring him down lower than ever. What made it even crazier was how Ross didn't even know what hit him at first. Word is he was in the middle of a business meeting when his phone started blowing up, his team trying to reach him, everybody sending him the video. He thought it was just another 50 Cent joke. But when he finally saw what 50 actually leaked, baby, that's when everything changed. And listen, if you thought that first tape was bad, the streets are saying 50's got way more where that came from. He's been sitting on this stuff for years, just waiting for the perfect moment to release it. The way he orchestrated this whole thing, it's like he wrote a whole revenge movie and made Ross the star without him even knowing it. But what Ross didn't know was that first tape was just the beginning. The real question everybody was asking, what else does 50 have in his vault? Because if he waited 14 years to drop this bomb, there's no telling what other footage he's been holding on to.
Doesn't mean I'm confirming or I'm 100% factual, but it's somebody in this story of things that seems more reliable than others, Race, is what I'll say, just to protect my sources. But this source informed me of who these A-list celebrities are on these tapes that are being allegedly auctioned off online and through the networks. And it's put me in a little bit of a bind because I like to be fully transparent with the audience. I want to say things, but I also realize from what I'm told, because again, I haven't seen them directly yet. I haven't, and I don't know if I want to. Race, I want your advice on that too. But the problem I have is just like, typically I want to report these things, but I got to be careful legally, ethically, morally as to what we report on here. Because as Ariel, the lawyer here, did admit, and I can attest based on the information I got from a separate, reliable source, people in these videos don't know they're being videotaped. That's a big issue, Race, right? Let's start out right there. If there are people on these tapes that don't know that they were being filmed, is that okay to talk about and to share?
I have a big problem with that, as do you, Andy, and you tend to be an ethical guy and you're taking the high ground here. Notwithstanding the fact that you may have some significant information and reliable information, but the reality is that, look, I mean, if people were recorded non-consensually and you're the one to identify them, I think that's a problem, right? And I think anytime anyone has content, right? This is not an email. This is not a text message. This is video. Right. And there's specific statutes without using specific language I don't want to get into, but everybody knows what we're talking about here.
It's Diddy with this person. I'll say that. It's Diddy with this person. Actually, yes.
Yeah, and see, the problem is, again, like non-consensually recorded, you got a victim here who may not want to be publicly identified. That's the problem. That's the problem. And they have a right to proceed if they want to, whether it's criminally or civilly, without being identified, because we know what's going to happen. As soon as they identify themselves, there's going to be a bunch of people that come out of the woodwork who are going to unequivocally harass them and claim that didn't happen, and they're making stuff up. And there's the victims that we want to protect here, and that's significant.
Well, it's interesting because here's why I wanted to have this conversation, because I know a lot of you are like, Andy, just say it. No, I'm not going to say them, but I wanted to have this conversation as to why we're not saying it and why I think others haven't yet said it, raised, because again, legally, ethically, morally, it's just not right. Now, there's an argument I've had with people who are like, well, they knew what they were doing with Diddy. Like these were consensual acts. Like they knew, and he filmed other times. So I don't know what the big deal is. It's going to come out. It's going to come out is what I keep hearing from other reliable sources. It may come out, but it's not going to come out via me. That's just to warn you all, because I don't think it's wise for us to put out something like you just confirmed it without the consent of the other person in the video. Because again, from what I'm gathering based on some of these tapes, and again, we're still learning more, and I haven't seen them with my own eyes.
Remember all those times Ross swore up and down he never did business with certain people? That's what makes these tapes so explosive. Because baby, the receipts don't lie, and 50's got Ross caught in 4K doing exactly what he spent years denying. The footage 50 dropped shows Ross in some real compromising situations with Diddy. And we're not talking about innocent business meetings. We're seeing Ross at private parties acting real friendly with people he claimed he never even met. You know, all those stories he's been shutting down about how he really got his start? Well, these videos are painting a whole different picture. We're seeing Ross getting real comfortable with some characters he swore he never dealt with, talking about business moves he claimed never happened.
Isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You got to realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that. They got to test every last one of them. Let's see how much, let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No, they just walk out the people who are being arrested.
The reactions from inside the industry have been wild. One executive, who's trying to stay anonymous because they're still in the game, said watching these tapes was like seeing somebody's whole career flash before their eyes. Another source close to Ross's label said they had to call emergency meetings because nobody knew how many more bombs 50 was about to drop. When word got back to Ross about what was actually in those tapes, that's when things started getting real heated. It's one thing to hear people talking about what they saw. It's another thing entirely to know there's video evidence out there showing exactly what you've been trying to keep quiet. And the way Ross responded, baby, that's when everything went from bad to worse.
If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here.